I want to ask that you bless this meeting today. We thank you for each one together here today. We pray that they might have a safe trip back to their business and their home. Father, we want to pray for our country as we're going through difficult times. We want to pray for the people running for election. We pray that we might choose the right person. We pray for our committee today. May everything be done peaceably and in order. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Eric Allen Watts. Bill Anglin.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Julia Coates. Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Meredith Fraley. Here. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Tina Glory Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap.
Here.
David Thornton.
Okay, thank you. Next, the minutes of the last session, April 24th session, is in your packet. I would entertain a motion for their approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion or changes, corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next are the reports. The financial report from our treasurer, Ms. Kevin.
Good afternoon. You have my written report, and looks like we have a full agenda, so if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Are there any questions of Ms. Catcher? Okay.
Thank you.
Julie. Cherokee Nation Enterprise, Mr. Stewart.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I have a couple of things on the agenda. One is a very brief financial report, and then I'd like to introduce some of our Cherokee leaders that we have in our succession plan and part of our executive development program. And Councilwoman Jordan requested that at one of our council meetings previous, so we're going to do that. It'll be very brief, but I think it's good for you to see their face and know who they are, what they do, and part of our program. So. Of course, Guy Walcott is our new CFO. You'll see more of him at these meetings to present some of the financial results. So he is here, but he's not going to take part in today's ceremonies, but maybe later, another time. And of course, Sean, you'll see more of him as we report the results of our construction. Revenue was $37.5 million for April. It was a decline from March, but it was our highest April ever. So we're still seeing increases year over year, and we are going to try to get that to continue. 58% Cherokee employment. Our percentages are remaining fairly constant with total Native employment and Cherokee employment. Turnover has gone down significantly over the past 6 months. From 45% to 35%, and that's the result of all of our programs that are designed to benefit our employees, keep them on board, and as we hire the next round of 1,000 people, we're going to have extremely good programs to acquire that kind of talent. So I think that's evident of that. For our executive development program, this program has always been high on the list for even previous council, I know this council. As we grow and prepare for our growth over the past 3 or 4 years, the board has placed an extreme amount of importance on developing Cherokees, and I know you all support that as well, to take positions in executive management. And as we've grown, we really haven't had the talent in-house to accommodate that. So my philosophy there is that it's much better to have talent that we can train our people and help the business rather than take a chance of putting people that are not ready for the job and jeopardize our business performance. That's why we've always had outstanding business performance throughout the past years, and at the same time develop Cherokee. So a little bit about the program. It's about 3 years old. Brent Thompson is in charge of it. Brent, you're here, so you've seen plenty of Brent. What are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
I think he got roasted the other day, so he's.
That's all right.
Since he thinks that's funny, you might do it again.
No,
We'll see.
no.
But Brent's doing a great job. He's Choctaw. We won't hold that against him.
Thank
Kind of
you.
in between Cherokee and
Thank you.
Mordecai, so that's good. But no, he's a breath of fresh air, and he's doing a great job. The primary purpose of the Executive Development Program is to ensure that we are successfully developing bench strength at all the key levels, and we have a good succession plan for key executives. And also that we have an adequate supply of executive class talent necessary to drive and sustain our growth in the future. We accomplish that by identifying people within the organization that we would call high potentials that have shown an interest in performing and working hard and have a real interest in excelling. They're interviewed, and I'll give you a little schedule on that in a minute. And then we take those people and we assess their talents and design a program to fill any gaps that they might have in their executive talent. And that, you pass those down. We keep one of those so we're talking about it. This is a graphic of our approach for the program. We start out with a foundation. We interview, make sure the candidates are up for the task, because these people have to not only do their job, but they have to do other projects to help them develop as they fill these gaps in their knowledge base and their technical abilities and their management style. We identify coaches. And then the second phase of that is the assessment process. And this is not, we don't just sit people down and say, what do you need? We have a formal, it's very well accepted business practice, tests that are given, and we find weakness, and that helps design the program to help them fill those gaps. They're personal. We have internal coaches and external coaches, and we have forum topics that we talk about with outside speakers and so on. And then the development and reassessment process involves business projects that they do in addition to their workload, monthly forums that they have to attend, self-assessments, and then coaching sessions. So it takes commitment and drive, and these people that you're going to meet today have done an excellent job of that. They're our first class. They're in our, I think, our second or third year, Brent?
That actually, yeah, see, this class, I think, formally started in early '07, is that right?
Early '07.
Yeah.
And so anyway, second year and looking for some graduation next year. So let me introduce the members of that class. And if you would just come up, and we're going to try to get this behind me. Molly Jarvis, who you've seen. Molly is our VP of Marketing. She has her MBA from Oklahoma State and has been with the company, I think, Molly, you started around 2002 when I...
It'll be 6 years in July.
6 years in July, and has been very instrumental in our growth. All of our revenues have increased 30 to 40% a year, and she's been actively involved in that. Working for her is Mary Galbraith. Mary? She is Director of Strategic Marketing. She comes to us from Hilti, and I think you were, where are you, Mary? You worked overseas, right?
I worked overseas in Liechtenstein for 2.5 years.
All right. So she does all of the research and develops a lot of the technical work that supports our marketing program. So we don't just go out and do things haphazard. We do research, and that's really where she comes in. Stephen Bilby is Director of Information Technology. Stephen has also been with us since, what, 2002 as well? And has directed traffic on all of our technology. And if you've been up on the third floor, second floor, I guess, you might have both floors, you're so big. But he's got a IT department up there that's larger than most IT companies. We have extremely good talent, a lot of capability, and he's done an excellent job at that, especially with the Class 2 environment that really doesn't lend itself to any kind of technology that, is common. And as we grow into Class 3, we've had to convert all that. So he's been instrumental in that. Bob Thomas.
Excuse me, Mr.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an ad that what part of the tribal community they're from? Like what
Okay.
communities their families are from?
Okay, yeah, Molly.
Tulsa.
Tulsa. Mary?
And I was born an Army brat, but my grandmother grew up in Centralia, Oklahoma.
Okay.
My family's from Sepulpa.
Sepulpa. All right. Bob Thomas, you come up.
And
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fishing Hawk has a question.
Let them state whether they're Cherokee or not.
They're all Cherokee. Bob is Director of Human Resources and works for Brent, and is gradually moving up the ladder and has done a great job in addressing all of the employee issues that come about. And you all know that there's a lot of them, right, Bob?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So Bob's done a great job, and where is your...
Claremore, Roger.
Claremore. All right. And how long have you been with us? You've been with us
5 years in
5
July.
years. Ken Holloway, would you come up? I'm not going to let him stand behind me. He's a security guard.
That's right.
So, policemen never put their back to the door for some reason, do they?
That's right.
That's right. So, Ken is Senior Security Manager at Catoosa and is one of Dave Roberts' key employees there. And I'm telling you, these guys, they really do a great job. And they do it professionally. They don't overdo it. Well, sometimes they overdo it, but that's just their job. So they're very well trained, and they just, one of the things that we have to have is a secure and safe place. And he and his team have done just a great job of that. And how long have you been with us, Ken?
6 years, January the 4th.
Okay.
This past January.
All right. Tony Armstrong. Where are you, Tony? Tony is a senior manager of corporate gaming. And Tony started out in our poker room and helped design all that. We laid the first card out, didn't we, Tony, back in 2002? We dealt the first Texas Hold'em hand in Oklahoma. And so all of the tournaments and all of those programs, Tony helped develop and was very instrumental. And now he's moving over into the total gaming realm, which would include slots, and is learning more about the revenue stream. 95% of our revenues are in slots, so I think he decided I better get over there with the money. That's right, Tony. So where are you from?
My family's from Nowata.
Nowata, and
No, I didn't say.
That's
I'm
right.
from the Black Gum community north of in Sequoia County.
all right, 10 killer, right?
That's correct.
All right, good. Okay, Scott Knowles is a senior financial analyst.
Stand behind you.
All right, I don't think you can hurt me. So. Scott is involved in developing all of our business cases for our businesses as we develop assumptions and our financial returns. So if we ever do a business case for the board, Scott, underneath Guy, they help put together all of those assumptions and calculations. And you came to us from United Video? And,
Yep.
All right.
And we're at a manufacturing company. The Cherokee side of my family is from Seminole
Seminole.
and Sallisaw. They were kind of both.
Oh, okay. Well, Sallisaw and Seminole are kind of... I don't know, Sallisaw's a little rougher than Seminole. Are you? No wonder. Sean Walkingstick. Sean, why don't you... Now, Sean is an assistant GM at Catoosa. He was the general manager at Westside Loam. Kind of got his... I didn't know you didn't cut your teeth. I think you got your teeth broken over there. Right? Yeah. But Sean used to work for me at C&I, and he was in the telecom business, and he has a financial background. And he called me and said, the telecom business is not what it used to be, and I'm looking for a job. And so I said, come on over. And so he has really done a great job of learning a new business and just jumping in the middle of something that he just didn't know anything about. And I told him, I said, I think you'll like gaming a lot more than telecom. And I think you do, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more fun. I'm Cherokee. I live here in Tahlequah. My family roots are down in Peavine, in that area.
All right. And how long have you been with us?
The allotment side's on East Peavine, but Walkie Stick Mountain's on West Peavine, so, you know.
Is that in the United States? It is?
It is.
Okay.
Your dad was at CNI also.
My dad's at CNI also, that's correct.
Engineer.
Engineer, yeah. So
Oh,
we
space
go
program.
back many years. Jason Lowry. Now, we're going to give you his cell phone number because he's the general manager at Tahlequah. Right, Jason?
Sure.
Where's your family?
My family's originally from Jay.
Jay?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jason is a CPA by trade, and he started out in the financial area. Then he went into the slot area to help design the slot floor and does all the numbers for that. And then he decided he hadn't had enough, so he wanted to be in operations. So he's just now getting his feet wet in that. How long have you been at Tahlequah and Fort Gibson?
A little over 2 months.
Okay, so 2 months, so your feet are still wet.
Still wet.
Right. And we've got a big set of boots for you, because
That's
you're going
right.
to need them. But Jason, all these people here, we meet regularly to talk about Cherokee and what we're about and how we run the business, so we all have a common goal. And it really has been a pleasure to have them on board and excited about the company. So we're going to keep doing this. They're going to continue to be in the program, and you will see their face more and more. And you can feel free to call them instead of me if you have a problem, right? So that's what you call handing the baton over. But no, just recognize that they're doing a great job for you and the Cherokee Nation, and their heart's in the right spot. And sometimes, you know, we hiccup and we don't make the right decision, but we recover fairly quickly and we try to make it right if we don't. So anyway, just so you can meet all these folks. So good job, everybody, and that's your team. I didn't miss anybody today.
That's it.
All right, good. All right, that's my report.
Okay, we appreciate all of you coming.
Okay, any questions about the financial side? Or
Yeah, I just have a generic question, David. That's routinely I get approached with, you know, whether it be marketing or maybe advertising opportunities and things like that.
Mhm.
Would you prefer those to be sent directly to you, or are you going to hand the baton off to
Molly, we're going to get T-shirts with their cell phone number on them, then so you can be writing them down. No, so marketing, information technology, HR, financial analyst, assistant GM Catoosa, GM Tahlequah, security, and then gaming. So I'll bring a few more. We have a total of 31 people in the program. It's about 1% of our total employee base, and they go from the 2 groups in the executive development program and then 1 group of what I call middle management. So we're taking the same approach down 1 more step so that we can get middle managers, you know, in the same kind of program, and then they can develop into the executive program and then go up from there. So it's very well ingrained. You can be assured that it's on a top priority for us at CNE. So I have a couple more issues if y'all want to sit down with. Thank you very much. I'd like to update you on the discussions with Blue Ribbon Downs and the Choctaws. We have made a tentative offer to them to purchase the facility, provided a number of things happen, and one of those is that we can move games from Blue Ribbon to Will Rogers. And this is part of our effort to improve profitability of Will Rogers. And so that is going to be presented hopefully at an Oklahoma Horse Racing Commission meeting or up for discussion. And I've been in discussion with Gary Batten at the Choctaws. So that is going on. So when you hear that, you can be fully advised that that is going on It is all subject to our board approval, and it's also, anything that happens is subject to their council approval. So there are a lot of steps that have to happen for this to be successful, but you need to know that it's going on. Any questions about that, Mr. Thornton?
On the horse racing side of it, are you going to stop horse racing there? You know, keep racing there?
Well, the contemplation is that the license, those races would be performed at Will Rogers. That would be the idea.
You mean you move everything to Will Rogers then?
Mm-hmm. And I think
Won't be any horse racing then.
there will not be. I mean, it's really up to the Choctaws. I mean, they're going to make that ultimate decision. That would be part of our going in. I mean, we really don't want to be a part of, just shutting it down, buying it, and then shutting it down. So it's a sensitive issue. But our interest is really in the best interest of the industry and to help the racing industry as a whole. And this move, I think, would do that. Whether or not we can do it technically and it goes through the legal process, I think is up for debate. But we're going to find out if it's possible.
So that was the first place in Oklahoma where parimutuel was run.
I'm sorry?
That's the first place you ever could bet on horses.
That's exactly right. I mean, I remember it back in the day with growing up in Salisaw. Right.
Legally, yeah.
So there is a lot.
Legally, yeah, there are a lot
Legally.
of tracks around, but that.
Right.
You're not doing anything illegal in Adair County, are you?
Oh, no. And I see that.
Nothing's illegal here.
I see that you have a lot of bargaining power over there by the amount of revenue that's generated by the Choctaws over there. And I don't think they've done any good over there. They're losing quite a bit of money there. Looks like, as far as the property's concerned, I was wondering what we was going to do with the property.
Well, I think the discussion is that it's really a good facility to be used by the racing industry in some form. So we would look to the industry to help us figure that out. So we would, once we get the legal side of it figured out, then we would explore those options so that it would, maintain the benefit the industry in some form. But we don't know what that would be.
No, Will Rogers is, I guess, starting to break even now pretty well. I know that's just a hole over here.
Right. Right. We're looking for ways to make, to be better.
Along the right lines there. I hate to see it leave that.
Right.
But we can't go into a business where we can't, it's going to cost us millions of dollars a year, and that's what it's doing.
Right. And the purse money would be much greater for the horse owners to race if it were at Will Rogers, because the purse money's just not there. So it really would benefit the horsemen in the industry. And I think we just have to face a difficult situation and try to make the best of what is there. And I think the Choctaws had the same view. Whether or not it passes the legal test, we don't know.
The parimutuel betting, will it go anywhere from there, or will it?
That would be outside. I think what I'd rather do, we could visit.
The telecast business?
Yeah, there would be some options there.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Fulbright.
Well, I like David. I have a lot of concerns because I'm getting a lot of calls from trainers and horse people, and if it is closed down, we make the Choctaws take the blame, not us.
Well, we won't make anybody do anything. I mean, the reality of it is, it's not performing. So it's really not anything that we did. They're owners of the property, and the only reason it's really up for sale is because it's not performing. So I don't think in any way, we really are doing this in the best interest of the industry. So that's our goal.
Well, I know we need to make the right decisions for the Cherokee Nation, but I still don't want us to get a black eye out of it, but all these people are calling us. Well, all I can tell you is just the truth, what I know,
Okay. Councilor Baker.
Does that mean you're not trying to make money, just friends?
We're trying to make money.
Oh, okay. Well, you just said that we were just doing it for the best interest in that.
No,
Well.
we're actually trying to make money.
Okay,
Yeah.
Councilor Garber.
David, is there asking price?
Well, that's up for negotiation.
They don't have a price.
We're under negotiation for that.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, I do want to say that we appreciate the meeting that you had with us last month with the council members in Catoosa to discuss the tarot items with your staff as well as with Plinco's staff, including having Plinco's top people, their CEO and so on there. And we do appreciate that. And sorry that more of our council people couldn't have participated.
So that's all right. I mean, I think, we do a lot of things at C&E that we don't tell you enough about. So I think part of this session should be to educate you and keep you apprised of that so that when you're out there with your constituents, you can, have a good feel for what's going on.
Okay. Yes.
I appreciate you bringing 9 of your seconds, and if you could bring the other 31 over.
Absolutely.
Or 20, 22 of
To
them.
22.
Over a period of time, I'd appreciate that.
We-
So we can put a face with each one of these folks and what they do within your organization.
Absolutely. Good.
One more.
Okay.
Councilor Thorne.
I appreciate your bargaining, sales talk, the horse racing, because I'd like to see the Choctaws move on the other side of the business. Even though, that's big
Right.
for us. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very
All
much.
right. Thank you.
Next, we have Cherokee Nation Industries, Dennis McLemore.
Good afternoon. Councilor Quinton kind of said what I was thinking a while ago when he was talking about that horse racing. Remember hearing that a lot of money used to change hands over there on Workman Mountain, but I don't know if it did or not.
Just hearsay.
Yeah, just hearsay as far as I know. I'll be giving our monthly report, and our CFO, Robert Vorstep, is here, and he'll be addressing any questions for the audit. You see, I think Doug passed out the audit report that CNI has, so if you have any questions about that, he'll be addressing those. And right now, I'll report on the March results. In March, we had $9 million in cash, $12.4 million in accounts receivable, $9.1 million in net inventory, $10 million in accounts payables, and we had equity of $22.6 million. For the year-to-date, at the end of March, we had revenues of $19.6 million, and we had we were operating at a operating loss of $844,000 at the end of March. And then for the month of March, we had $7.1 million in sales, and we had a net income at the end of March of $160,000 for the month of March. And that concludes the March report. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions of Mr. McElroy? Yes.
Dennis, I wanted to ask a question. I was looking at I appreciate you guys getting your budget into the financial statement package, not only your internal, but also consolidated with CMB, which I believe was pursuant to a request from Mr. Stoke a couple months ago. But one thing that stuck out, I wanted to ask you, did the rationale behind, I assume your board approved your budget at an operating loss for the year?
I don't recall if we had a total loss. If the total is that, then they did, but I don't recall what our final total number was.
Through April.
Through April.
The budget's reflecting a cumulative loss, and I assume that's 7 months budget?
Yes.
That's correct?
Yes.
Well, I can't see what the other 5 months of your fiscal year budget is, but up through 7, it's a loss. I guess the question is first, is your annual operating budget a loss? And if so, maybe you could expand on the justification for that from the approval of the board.
I don't recall, the best of my recollection is that it was not an operating loss.
I can answer that.
Wow, good to see you back.
I'm Bob DeVorstead, CFO of CNI, and the reason the budget for the period Doug is talking about was a loss is basically the budget reflected actual information through the month of March. We didn't complete our budget for this fiscal year until the latter part of March. So really the budget October through March was basically actual information, and then the real budget for the remaining months was budget information. So that's why it appears that the board approved an operating budget that was a loss. It was really actual information.
That explains
Explain it,
that.
Doug.
Maybe if we, yeah, absolutely. Maybe
Okay.
if we get an idea of just what does your most probable year, since this isn't an annual budget, it's a most probable year.
So we just updated our budget to come up with a forecasted, and right now our revenue for the year is $88.3 million, and our pre-tax income is a profit of $688,000 for the whole year, October through September.
Councilor Sutton, questions? I'll get you
Got a
one.
question on, what would be some circumstances that, Doug was saying that you could actually approve an operating budget in which you were showing negative? What would be some circumstances that would incur over a year's period?
No, our budget was a profit for the year. I think it was about
Right, but
one.
I mean, it's possible that you could actually budget your operating expenses to lose money over a period of time, right? That's not.
That's possible, but that wasn't our budget.
Your intent. You're saying that the board actually did not approve a budget, otherwise it would have been.
The board approved the budget, but I'm saying with the budget, the period October through, I believe, February or March was actual information. So that had a loss position in it. And that's why
Did the board in fact approve the operating budget for CNI?
Yes.
And if they did, then that information was available, it just wasn't posted?
No, the budget was not approved until March. It was approved very late.
Okay, that's.
So 6 months of their FY08 budget actually are actuals.
Exactly.
The only budget component of that budget is the last 6 months.
Exactly.
And of which the loss is projected to turn around and turn into
a profit for the year. Yes.
I had no visibility of the other side. Okay, the second half.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Appreciate your being here today. Thank you. Next is Cherokee Nation business. Mr. Carson.
Let me just give briefly a consolidated report of all the entities. Mr. McLemore already talked a bit about CNI with Bob DeVorstep's help, and David alluded to CNE's continued profitability. But for the month ended April 30, 2008, on a consolidated basis, this would be CNB, CNE, CNI, Cherokee Services Group as well, there was net income of $8.6 million. For the year ended April 30th, those same entities showed a profit of $64.2 million. And in my regular Thornton report of cash on hand, we have $90.6 million cash on hand on a consolidated basis. Working on a number of projects, of course, always happy to answer questions about the landfill as well, but I know the time is of the essence, and so I will conclude with that, Mr. Chairman, unless there are specific questions.
Are there any questions of Mr. Carson? Okay, thanks very much. We have the Cherokee National Historical Society on the agenda, but actually we voted last month for them to only report every 3 months, so that was an error. So next is Career Services, Ms. Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have my report, and I have some handouts. This is information that was given out at a meeting that's regarding the educational poverty population. It was given by the State Board of Regents. It's regarding economic factors, education factors in the state of Oklahoma, and where we actually rank with other states. And it's color-coded, so it's going to be real easy for you to look at. It'll give you some general information about your specific districts as far as where we stand on the radar screen with other parts of the state of Oklahoma in terms of the educational attainment as well as the per capita income and the economic factor. It's just some general information for you to look at. And we don't rank very good on the northeast side of the state. We're not doing very well as far as economic, and we're not doing very well as far as the educational piece of it in comparison with the northern counties in that part of the state. So this was good data that was given out at a meeting last week, so I just want to share that with you. The report pretty well speaks for itself. I just wanted to give you 2 update reports. Some of you all had asked about the AERT project in Adair County. I spoke with Al Drinkwater yesterday. He tells me they're going to be about 4 months behind from where they were before because of some permits that they still have to get approved. The first one was a pre-discharge permit. They hope to have that ready by June the 25th, and construction actually can start right after they get that. The second is the first one was the construction for their stormwater and dirt work can start, and the second is pre-discharge permit, and third is operating their stormwater permit. And they redesigned their no exposure problem, and they have no total contamination now, and they'll start recruitment probably about 4 months behind from where they were. They hope to have recruitment going in sometime around October, November, and opening the doors for their company in February of 2009. On the other things that's going on, we put together and coordinated a employment group presentation for a calozone company that possibly would be looking at Adair County, and Councilman Crittenton and Councilwoman Fishenhawk and Deputy Chief Grayson was on hand for that, and they presented the owner of that company from Washington State one of the LIHEAP blankets, and we got good feedback from the realtor in Arkansas as well as from the company, and they're looking very favorably at locating in the central part of the states because most of their contracts are out on the East Coast. We're continuing to work with Don Berger in the Mid-America Industrial Park. He sent us a bunch of information to see how we can connect with him on a lot of the things that's going on up there in that area. So we're reaching out and working with as many entities as we possibly can. I'd like to announce that Juanita Sanders will be retiring. She's our vocational manager. She'll be retiring in 2 weeks. She's getting married in Hawaii next week, and she's marrying one of her longtime friends, George Duval, and she'll come back and work a week, and then she retires. And Brenda Fitzgerald, who is working with Voc Rehab, and Melanie Dodge will be picking up most of those responsibilities for right now until we go through the budget cycle and see where we stand on that. We have summer youth that will kick off next week. We're still getting applications. Our deadline passed 2 weeks ago, but we're still taking applications, and we'll continue to take applications. Even if they come in 2 weeks after summer youth starts, we'll still take applications. And we're piggybacking on a couple of community meetings trying to help CNI with their aerospace contract. We've got a couple of community meetings that will be going on in Adair County and in Delaware County with Councilman Buzzard, Snell, Fishenhawk, and Crittenton at Dahlonega in Adair County, and in Oaks in Delaware County. We were up in Delaware County last Thursday night, and we're willing to go with any of you all out. I think Nettie was out with you, Councilman Hoskins, this last week at a resource fair. We can do any of these things. The staff are willing to do it, although right now they're heavily inundated with summer youth because we're having to pull in and help them out right now to get those applications processed.
Excuse me, Councilor George.
I would like to have you come with your department and set up a table along, I'm asking you along with Councilman Baker. We're having a community meeting at the community center on June 17th at 6 o'clock. And I would would also like to take this opportunity to invite all of my comrades on the council, that is,
We'll have to
after
be in
the,
town that day.
after the meeting, and if you would stay in town just a little bit longer, come down and, we'll feed you good.
Okay. We'll be glad to do that. I think that we've got one on the 12th at Delawnagy and one on the 19th at Oaks.
It's a Tuesday.
Okay, and that one up there is on Thursday.
Okay, Councilor Hoskin, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to express my appreciation to your department and to Nettie Detrick and everybody. It was a very impressive showing of staff. It was unfortunately an underwhelming turnout. I think next time Nettie and I are going to coordinate, and I'm going to bring some food, because in my experience, and probably everyone's experience, you feed people, you get more out. But I really was impressed with their display. And also with the summer youth program. I know it's in other districts, but in my district, the willingness to reach out to people who couldn't come into the NEDA office within a day, staff telling me we'll be out to go see them. I really appreciate that.
Good. We've got, they interviewed summer interns, and we've got 10 that will start next week. Some of our former interns, and I have to plug this, was Todd Hembry, Lisa Trice-Turtle, Daryl Oldfield, Siobhan Wakachi, who works at C&E, Audra Smoke Connor, Elizabeth Bird, Taylor King, Emily Raper, Jeff Vance, Mark Wilson. Those are some of our former summer interns, and you can see where they're at today. And a lot of them have come back and worked for the Cherokee Nation. So that says a lot for what we're doing with a lot of our youth.
Cancel the program.
Oh, that's right. I think he was a speaker one year. There's one other thing I want to mention. This past couple of weeks, we were very fortunate to be included with this year's Tahlequah Chamber, and I received the Economic Development Award at the Chamber banquet this year. But I paid tribute to my staff, because that award basically I gave to them, and it's on display at our office, because if it weren't for the good staff and the good people that we have working here, I would not have even been acknowledged for that. And I just wanted to share that with you. And the Cherokee Heritage Center, Mary Ellen and Carrie Tilley were there, and they received the Community Development Award this year. And your own Councilman Bill John Baker received one of the Heritage Awards for his long time standing with the Tahlequah Chamber. That's why he's got all that white hair. But anyway, if you have any questions about the report, I just wanted to give you some updates.
Okay. Any other questions for Diane? Ms. Crichton.
Thank you, sir. I just want to thank you for your support the other day on the tour that we took, and there was some confusion from some of the county commissioner's side, but it all went well, and I appreciate you coming over and helping us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next is Commerce and Anaya.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have submitted my report, and I wanted to just very briefly introduce you to, we've opened an office in Claremore, and Janet Gann was with the Housing Authority, and she's staffing the Claremore office for us. And this is Janet back here. She's going to work with the entrepreneurs in the northern and western counties, and she's particularly working with the taro vendor. She's the from the One Stop Center. And
Thanks
then
for coming today.
Donna Tinnen, and she's our new community tourism coordinator. So she's the one that's going out in the communities and working with them to try to develop tourism as an economic development tool.
Good to have you.
And you do have my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there any? Yes, Councilor Jordan.
I also want to invite your department to come on June 17th at 6 o'clock and set up a little table.
We will
and
be
I want to tell you, you've got two good employees from the Housing Authority. I know both of them. They're good people.
I think I do too. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is our consent items. And the first item is our cemetery restoration assistance applications. And actually, if you look at the handout that was given to you on the cemetery preservations assistance, you can see we have a problem here. There's a couple of counselors are already overfunded, and with their current requests, there's a couple of others that will run out of money and will be also overfunded, will spend all their money. So we need to discuss what we need to do to rectify this, whether we redistribute money from other counselors or look at it as a lump sum or appropriate more funds to those, or deny, the other options, deny the assistance. Do you have any comment?
I think you wrapped up the options real well.
Okay. Councilor Fishing Hawk.
Okay. Can I make a motion to put more money in the cemetery funds, because we have still got cemeteries that are waiting, and folks, every cemetery in Adair County is 51% Cherokee. We haven't found one that isn't included in the Stillwell City Cemetery.
What's your motion?
I don't know, Jack, help me. I'm making a motion to put more money in the cemetery system.
The question is, do we put it across the board or just to the ones who need it, or do we reallocate what's already there? Mr. Roscoe.
My suggestion is to put it where the need is now, and we may have to revisit it. This is my first year, obviously, of seeing how the money goes, and I mean, their districts need it, and we've got it. I think it's a compelling reason to, and again, I haven't looked at the specific number, but.
Okay. Mr. Hembry.
Mr. Chairman, one thing about this act is, when in its creation, it's very, specific that it would be a finite amount of money per, per counselor, or was it per district?
Per counselor.
Per counselor. Yeah, equally divided between the council members. I would be hesitant to throw more money at this because there's going to be an infinite amount of assistance that you want to do. I would suggest that the counselors visit among themselves to see if there are counselors that know they're not going to expend their budget, and then and see if they can't voluntarily reallocate it that way. Because if you get, because you're going to get into a situation where you're spending too much money on this program. I mean, there's a finite amount of money in this program, and you can't just keep on, you can't just, add more money to it.
Councilor Soul, did you have?
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment that, I think as far as the total funds available, it looks like there's quite a bit of funding there. And I would make a donation. I don't know what that donation would be, but that would be my preference to the district is in need. The other thing is, with that said, we talked about getting the cemeteries allocated to the right county, and I think that one we had was back and forth for a while, and then I got confirmation that it was in fact Cherokee County, and so regardless of how that goes, I'd kick it back to Cherokee County, but then I'd give Adair County some money too if they need that.
Okay. Councilor Fraley.
I was just going to echo what he said. I'll match yours.
Okay. Councilor Fulbright.
Well, we have overspent, but I've got several people waiting that have never been funded before, and I'd like to get something be worked out so that we could fund it.
Well, actually, you still have a considerable amount.
Oh, I looked at it wrong. I'm sorry. I thought need better contact.
Make a suggestion.
Councilor Baker.
Yeah, and Mr. So, if we are able to fund the 4 that are asking for funds this month, Tyne and I are each going to need $173.44. So if you don't mind keeping that one.
Well, I mean, I just think that it's appropriate that we get it in the right county so that from now on and infant time, we know what county that cemetery is in, and then, that way we can distribute or reallocate the funding based upon need.
So I guess what I'm saying, if we take that one back, then Tyne and I need $850 from you.
Yeah, maybe.
Councilor Zorn.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
We've got a CPA standing right up there. We've got 17 council people here, and 15 of them have money, the way I'm looking at it. And I can't see by month that we can't help each one of us put so much funding into these cemeteries. Because if we get down to where we don't have any money, then we get money. But as long as we've got money, it looks like we should just go ahead and distribute it even across the board. So that's my motion. And whatever Doug comes up with, how much comes out of your funding, that's how much comes out of your funding.
I'll second that with the clarification that if whatever the overfunded amount needed is the remaining 15 that have funds, divided equally out their fund.
So is that,
That's the clarification of that's what he said.
Right.
okay.
Okay. Rectify with that.
Is that you'll take an equal amount out of each other council's money to cover the ones that are underfunded?
Okay, now that will take care of
the
situation with the two right now.
Right.
That's all we want to deal with right now.
Okay.
But next month, we'll have the same.
Is that second and everything?
There is, the motion's been made and seconded, so there is discussion. Okay, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The cemetery assistance form typically, in the past, not typically, but in the past, has not come through me for review and inclusion into the memo and the budget mod. It's kind of been out there going through the process, the consent process, kind of by itself. And if with the pleasure of the committee, I would recommend that this be treated just like law enforcement, community assistance, be included in, let it run through with the mod package. It can have another set of eyes, predominantly mine, take a look at it, and ensure that, you know, the controls are in place to make sure we don't have to do this again. And that would be my recommendation, is let me process this assistance fund through the mod process just like the other ones are, because it's not right now.
Okay.
Need a motion to do that, or is that just for?
No, I think instruction probably would take care of it. Because, I mean, you can see it's even different because the form doesn't even list the projects on it for this month. I mean, the form ought to list this month's projects. If we list this current month's projects on the form, we'd know that someone was going to get thrown into a negative. But when you approve projects that's not on here, and no one goes in their mind and adds up, well, that's going to throw us into a negative, then that's how it can happen. I think it's just a administrative effort. If it's okay with with you guys, I'd be happy to bring that into the process like the rest of them are, and ensure that there's a control in place where we don't over-obligate allocation.
Okay, I will so direct you to do that, Mr. Baker.
A clarification. Right now, Adair County has overspent $1,322. They have one to be funded today for another $500. Cherokee County, although we have $826 apiece, we're that's $1,600 and some, and we've got requests for $2,000 above. And I guess is that not correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the clarification I'm asking, are you proposing to take a portion from the ones that have plenty of money to fund these additional, or are you saying quit and send no more?
I will support today that what we've got on the table, we'll take a 15th from each of us of whatever that amount is for Adair and Cherokee, and fund what we've got. Now next month, I'm not going to support additional ones until I continue to have an opportunity for my folks to exhaust whether or not they're going, because I've had indication that they want to do cemeteries, but I haven't got the application, and I don't know why, and that gives me a chance to continue to follow up with them.
But my question is, are you only talking about funding what's already been overspent, or are you proposing to fund that extra $300 and some dollars?
No, I'm okay with it, because there's probably been a commitment, and I want to be respectful of that, because I know how it is when you're talking to your constituents. They're expecting to get funded today. But next month, that's a different issue, and I won't be supporting additional funds because you've exhausted your cemetery stuff.
because the motion is to include everything that we will approve today.
Okay.
And that's it. Now, next month, that's a whole different ballgame.
But we could come on bended knee next month if we have 2 or 3 more. I mean, I don't know that I will or won't. I'm just saying
You
that,
won't have my support right now unless I rethink it.
but we can
This
come.
month,
Yeah.
Let's cover what we've got,
Okay.
and you can let your constituents know that that funding's exhausted.
Mr. Crittenden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In past years, Doug, Adair County's had a couple of different times through the years that we were out of money, and we just held them till the new funding came through. And I certainly appreciate, Chris,
No,
your
no, don't mean to, I need to clarify that, okay?
Okay.
This particular program is not a recurring program. It was a one-time funding that is carrying over unspent funds.
Okay.
With, if we're not going, once we reallocate after today to at least get everyone, there's going to be 4 at 0 after I do a reallocation. You guys approve these. District 1 and District 2 all going to have 0 balances. They won't get any new funding at the next fiscal year because, I mean, unless new monies are appropriated into this program.
Yeah.
Okay? Just want to make sure everyone's
But I
clear.
appreciate Chris and Kara, everybody being willing to bail us out, so to speak, here. Appreciate it.
Is there any, Councilor Jordan?
Just a point of order. I believe, is this money divided 17 ways or 15 ways?
17.
So, Kara, are you wanting it to go 17?
No, there's only,
There's only 15, no, there'll only be 13
13.
of us that's got money left.
right, so that
Yeah,
will
that's
be
what she's talking
allocated.
about.
So it'll actually be 13, be coming out of 13 people.
Yeah, there actually be 4 now that are,
Yeah.
Correction,
You gonna be broke?
correction, 13 of us.
yeah.
Okay. Is there any further discussion of this? Okay, the motion's been made and seconded that we redistribute from those who have money equally to those who need money to finish through this month. So all in favor, is the question clear? So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. But now we need to approve the cemetery's request for this month. And District 1 has 4 cemeteries: Hicks, Agent, Pumpkin Center, and Manus Cemetery.
Clarification.
Yes.
I move to approve those, and do you want me to take yours back, Chris?
Great.
Yeah, I think that was, Ms. Colvin, she said that she had done the research and that was in Cherokee counties.
I'd move to approve those 4 plus reallocate from Gray Cemetery.
It may just be on the spreadsheet for them because
Right.
of the.
4, 500,
Yeah.
500.
Yeah.
Second.
We've already
Okay.
funded it, I believe, because I
Right.
approved it the day that requested. But it may just need to be a correction on the spreadsheet more than anything else.
Right, we'll direct Doug to.
Is it
correct
not
that.
on here?
Well, but it was out of Mays County rather
He was
than
wanting us
Cherokee
to take
County.
it back.
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
Okay,
Approved last
Gray, I
month.
believe.
it was last
I
month.
can send you the email she sent me.
It's,
I see it on here. Gray?
I'll
yes,
send you the email. Just-
that becomes number 1.
Maybe
District
we can
1.
have Todd just look it up or whatever, but.
Okay. So all in favor of approving District 1, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have District 2. We still have another one there, which is the Nugent Family Cemetery. You'll hear a motion we approve the Nugent.
You know anything? You know?
Do I hear?
Yeah. Make the motion.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, District 5, we have the Sycamore Springs and the Uwasha Cemetery.
I'll make a move to approve these 2.
Do I hear a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is District 6 is Beaver Cemetery in the Cedar Crest community. Do I hear a motion we approve that? District 6, Beaver Cemetery. That's Mays County.
Yes, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next we have District 8, Victory Cemetery and Charlie Indian Cemetery. Did you hear a motion for their approval?
I'll move for their approval. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is District 9. There's, Family Finders Genealogy Club, is
Mr.
that?
Chairman, that is actually called the No Water Relocated Cemetery. I think it's, the applicant is that entity, the Family Finders, it's No Water Relocated Cemetery.
Okay, and Russell Creek Cemetery Association.
Yes, for approval of both those cemeteries.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So Doug will reallocate the funding on those.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
The list I have has 4 for District 1, 1 for District 2, 1 for District 5. There was a mention about a District 6.
That was the Beaver.
That was in the handout,
Get the handout?
It was on the handout.
and it is on the spreadsheet also.
Okay. Are they all for $500?
Yes.
Okay. I just can't see that.
Mr. Sennell.
I think District 5 had 2.
Yes, they did.
District 5 had 2,
Was
Round Springs and
Sycamore Springs and Uwasha and Kenwood.
Okay. I don't have something y'all are looking at.
Right. It's on our spreadsheet, plus it's also on the supplement. But Shelley will make sure that you.
Process. Yeah, I'm gonna relook at the process, make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay. Next are the tarot certifications. There was certifications listed in the packet that was sent out, but we also have another listing which actually gives their tribal affiliation, which is passed out. But I believe they're the same list, right? They're the same list except the other one has the tribal affiliation.
Move to accept.
Okay. Motion's been made to accept the list. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next we have roads. And we have a new handout with an additional road that was not included in the packet. Is
Move
that
to
correct?
approve with the addition.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is our community assistance.
Have one to add.
Okay.
Move to approve with whatever.
So you have one
It's-
addition?
It inadvertently got left off. It's Oklahoma Boomers for $500, $250 from myself and $250 from Councilman Baker. Remember?
Is that correct? Okay. Okay. Any discussion on any of them? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next is our law enforcement request. We have 5 due ones on the list.
Does everyone have the list?
Move to approve.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, excuse me, Mr. Hoskin.
With respect to the Craig County Sheriff's Department, and it was my error in reporting it, but it's not, it shouldn't be reserve vehicle repair, it should be equipment/maintenance on equipment for reserves.
Okay. And Doug, you have that correction, right? Equipment?
Equipment/maintenance on equipment for reserves.
Let's see, the motion was made, and who did the second on this? Was it Buell? Did you do the second? Okay. Any discussion? All All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So those, yes.
I missed the
Councilor Fisher.
assistance, I was writing notes down. I had a question on that, maybe to you or somebody, because there was a question online on the money and community assistance about getting verification of 51%. I think it was on Civil School. Do you remember when this went out a day or two ago?
Accounting sent an email over asking for verification of the 51%.
Okay, I had talked to Melanie, and I told her, Callie, did you, I said, I don't know, we give it to Neil, Dr. Morton, for him to take care of.
Yes,
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Fisher.
we did locate that check request. It was delivered last Thursday, and there was a question about 51%, but this was the one that was for the third place person, student at the school.
The Cherokee third.
Right, and that was approved at committee, I believe. So that one should be done, it should go through the process with the check pretty soon. But we have located that. I think it was a bit unusual because it was coming out of community assistance, which is normally an organizational type donation, and this is actually a scholarship to the third place Cherokee student at these high schools. And that's why there was a question about it.
I don't want to run amok from the laws or contrary to it, so is that taken care of to make sure that I'm not?
As far as I know, that's taken care of.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. That takes care of the consent items. There's old business, there's none. Now we have new business. The former chief grave marker, oh, excuse me, yes.
Make a motion to amend the agenda to include this resolution authorizing financial depositories for Cherokee Nation. I believe everyone has a copy.
Okay, it's item number 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The motion's been made to amend the agenda to include the resolution authorizing financial depositories for the Cherokee Nation. It's been passed out. It came in one day late. So the motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion on amending the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The agenda's been amended.
Would this be the proper time? Last month you asked myself and Todd to develop real generic guidelines for the community meeting money, and Todd has developed these, and I didn't know if this needed to be added to the agenda or if this is something that just needs, I'm asking for clarification from the chair here.
Okay, Mr. Henry.
Chairman, I don't believe it's anything that needs to be added to the agenda. It was voted on and approved that some guidelines, very loose or broad guidelines, be developed. That has been done. They are here at the council staff's office, and it is something that there's 4 of them, and for the benefit of the record, I'll read them real quick. Guidelines for district community meetings using Cherokee Nation funds. Number 1, all funds must be expended for items directly related to the meetings. Number 2, an itemized statement must be given to council staff showing how any funds were expended. This statement must include accurate receipts or documentation. This statement shall be available for public inspection. This statement is due to the council staff within 30 days after the event. Number 3, community meetings must be held within the district in which the councilor is seated. Number 4, community meetings using these funds shall not be held after January 1 of any election year until said election cycle is completed. The place of signature that you agree to use these guidelines.
Okay. Thanks very much. We appreciate y'all's work on this.
Will it be necessary, and again, I'm asking the chair, should that be under these other 5 areas?
Under the consent items?
So it can be taken care of by Doug every month?
Yes.
So that will be an added item, I guess?
Under consent items.
Does that take a vote, does that need to be
No.
voted on, or that's?
No, the chair will
Okay.
request that.
And I guess the money then is available?
Yes, it was.
If they agree to these guidelines, I guess the money's available?
Right.
Is that the way it works?
Yes, because it passed in full council last month.
Okay. I just didn't.
Mr. Evans.
Since the recipient's defined in the law and the purpose is clearly defined with these with this, is there a need to take an actual vote for consent? Or can it be, simply be a reporting item?
Maybe this is just
For the meeting itself, just a reporting item.
okay,
You've already
so it
appropriated the
doesn't need
funds.
to go on
Right.
here.
No, you just, you just, when you expend these funds,
I see what you're saying.
you agree to do that, and you get your receipts, and you follow the parameters of those guidelines, and you just turn the receipts into the council staff for documentation and inspection of the public if necessary.
I apologize then, I didn't mean to make
I'll go ahead and include it in the monthly, in my memo with the rest of the items. It just
Okay.
won't need a consent vote item in the system.
Okay. Okay, under new business, we have the former chief grave marker funding request, which is in the very back of the book.
$26,000. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the estimates came back. Dr. Sly provided promptly after the last meeting estimates of the historic marker and the chief marker. And in the back, there's a table, I believe it's behind the mod, that the total estimate for this project is $25,950. There was also a list behind that of the chiefs for a day, but there wasn't any, no estimate. I guess there was no plan for that. But originally, I think the discussion was around $35,000. Memory serves me. Is that right, Kara? Was it
30 or 35.
Okay, so the general fund would need to be the appropriate funding source, and
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
that amount, Kara?
At the estimate or at the- Next, we have the Cherokee Artists Association funding request.
Should make it 30. Just give 30 in case price of something goes up. Okay.
Who is bringing it forward?
What was it? The Artists Association.
I'm gonna move to table.
Okay, motion's been made to table.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, one opposed. Okay. And, excuse me, clarification. This is for community assistance today,
Yes, Mr. Baker,
which we have already gone through, but this is additional?
if we could.
Okay.
Huh? Well, this is for a group of seniors and you know.
So it's
Old folks, yes.
it's for the Stillwell Senior Housing, trips for elders, and how much are you requesting?
It's $1,000. It's $500 from myself and $500 from Ms. Fisher.
Okay. So-
I mean, not to question, Mr. Chair, but Jody is not in the room, and I would hate,
Oh, okay.
And I will allow at this time to back up, but normally it should be done as we're going through community assistance.
Agreed.
Well, you had to wait till Jody left the room.
Huh?
My kid's got an earache.
Okay. Do you approve 500 for each of you? Okay, we're allowing it this one time since we'd already passed community assistance. So, is there any discussion on the item? Motion been made and seconded.
The same consideration that we give to late resolutions and things that we don't have the normal days.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
An additional 1,000 taken out of community assistance. Okay. Okay, item 2's been tabled. Item 3 is our budget mod.
move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
There was just
Okay.
one item in there that I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of on the Gammon Trust.
Yes.
I think that warrants legal consideration.
What?
The Gammon Trust.
Okay, item 4 is the bill on the authorizing the financial depositories. Do I hear a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Do we have any announcements? The next meeting is June 26th at 3. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Gail asked me to make sure everyone got a copy of this new community assistance form. Accounting has been, she has been approached by accounting to ensure that we're giving 51 to organizations that are 51%, and they have to have proof of that, and that's listed on the bottom. She just asked that everyone have a copy of this.
Okay. And be sure that you get a copy from Gail if you don't already have one. Mr. Thornton.
Gail, please make about 10 copies to each person, to each council person.
Okay.
Gail, make about 10 copies
Yes.
to each council person.
Gail, the request has been made that you make 10 copies of the community assistance form for each council member. Put in their mailbox. Appreciate it. Okay. Are there any other items? Then I will entertain do I hear a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. We're adjourned.